I bet you, of all the people you imagine exploring Brazil with, your 75-year-old grandmother isn't high on that list. Well, life has a funny way of bringing us exactly where we're supposed to be, so let me introduce you to Bev. My Jamaican grandmother, the woman that sparked my curiosity of the world as a child through the hundreds of books that she's read long before I even had a passport. She used to tell me stories about the lions that live on safari in South Africa, countries that experience snowy weather way colder than Jamaica, and of course, countries like Brazil, a vibrant country with so much culture, so much diversity, and so many things to do that it would be very hard to experience it all in one trip. As a kid in Jamaica, I used to watch planes fly by, imagining where they were going, what the places were like, what activities I could experience there, what the people looked like, and what kind of food they ate, and could it even ever compare to Jamaican food. My imagination eventually led me to almost a decade of traveling around the world, and I always try to find time to bring my grandmother along. A few years ago, I got to take my grandmother on safari in South Africa, and she hasn't stopped talking about it since, so I decided to surprise her with a trip to Brazil to ring in the new year. I spent the last week of the year with her, exploring arguably Brazil's most famous city, finding the best experiences while trying to stick to a $1,000 budget. If you've ever wondered if you can travel to Rio de Janeiro on a budget, what you should add to your travel itinerary, and if now is the time to finally book that trip, this playlist should help you decide, because at the time of filming, $1 equals over 6 Brazilian reais, and with the perfect exchange rate, there is only one way to find out if Rio is the budget-friendly destination that nobody's talking about. Let's navigate Rio. When we touched down in Rio, Bev had no idea what I had planned for the next week, which was a good thing because this trip almost didn't happen and it didn't exactly go as I planned. Say hi.
Hi.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good.
Ooh, let's go, girl.
I'm great.
Let's go, girl.
I'm the girl
You
from
go, girl. You go, girl. So it is day one, and we're finally leaving the hotel to go and explore Rio. I've been here a few times before, but still seeing like little streets and corners that I haven't been on or I don't remember. It's kind of cool. You see a lot of street art on the walls. You see all the advertisements. You just see the culture of Brazil just driving through the streets, which is something I love. We're going on to somewhere that's very artistic, so let's go. We stayed in Barra, which meant we had a long commute every day, but because the exchange rate is in our favor, the cost wasn't terrible. The ride from Barra to Lapa, the Bohemian, vibrant nightlife hotspot of Rio, cost $12.15, and this ride was almost an hour long. But I'll tell you more about that later. We just arrived at the Selarón Steps, the Rainbow Steps, also known as the Lapa Steps here in Lapa in Rio. And it's a long way down, but we're gonna go down here and see all the artistic tiles and decorations on the wall.
What's the artisan thing like?
So the history behind the steps, from what I understand, is that there was a Chilean artist that designed these steps way back in the day, and it was his tribute to the Brazilian people. So let's see them.
Deixa gira, girar, saravá em dança, é Xangô Iemanjá. Deixa gira, girar, gira, deixa gira, girar, gira, deixa gira, gira, deixa gira, girar.
That's a performance. So as you come down the steps, you can find little shops that sell little souvenirs. Got some jewelry, some bags, some bracelets. I Like, this has to be one of the #1 visited spots in Rio for tourists and locals alike. And for good reason. It's very, very pretty here. People serving caipirinha, food, snacks, some clothes, and pure vibes, darling, pure vibes. It's like if you're an Instagrammer, you want to take pictures, this is where you come to take pictures, hands down. When you're in Rio, especially if you're on a budget, you've got to make it to Selarón Steps because not only is it free to visit, but you can also take some fire photos. Just try to get here early to avoid the crowds. And we are leaving because this place just got super busy. We just left the Lapa steps and we're on our way to Ipanema, a place that she's been talking about this entire trip so far.
I'm a girl for the day.
And on the way to Ipanema, we are seeing the magnificent Sugarloaf Mountain in the distance. And she is in awe. Why do you like Sugarloaf? The driving here, she's always nervous. But she was saying she's read so much about Sugarloaf and now she's seeing it in person and she is so excited.
Yes, I'm seeing it in the awesomeness. In its awesomeness. And I'm the girl from Ipanema for the day.
And you know what?
I'm that girl.
What else would you want to see while you're here?
Christ of the Redeemer. It's a modern.
And that one right there?
Which one? The one that,
Christ the Redeemer, that's right there?
where? No, not that one.
That one right there, that is the Christ the Redeemer on that hill.
Which one? I can't see.
Look up to the mountains.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I saw something about it on
It wasn't the reaction I wanted, but I guess we'll see a better reaction when we visit both of these historic spots in person. We're passing Copacabana Beach, and New Year's is in a couple of days, which I'm so excited about, but you can see the setup that they're making for New Year's. It's one of the biggest celebrations in the entire world. I'm really nervous about it, but I'm excited to see the fireworks and see whatever shows they have on these stages. One thing I love is New Year's is my favorite holiday. Every year it's tradition for me to go somewhere else. This year it's going to be bigger and better, and then next year, I don't know. We'll see where we go next year. Drop some suggestions in the comments. Where should we go for New Year's 2026?
Jamaica.
And on that note, let's find some lunch in Ipanema. So we had made it to lunch. We're in Ipanema. We found this random restaurant on the side of the street. It's called Fina, and pretty much it's a buffet style restaurant where they weigh the plate and charge you based on that. And to be honest, I feel like 82 reals isn't that bad for such a very heavy plate. It's more than like local cheaper spots, but so far it tastes really good on my end. And my grandmother,
I'm enjoying it. It is good, the taste is good, and the cut, how they cut it the right way that you get a good chew and it's not springy. You taste the naturalness of the food, not just daily spice.
well, let me taste it and let you know it was really good. She could be lying. So it's almost the end of the first day, and we've done a little bit of exploring Rio, seeing the steps, having some really good lunch, and seeing Ipanema, which essentially really just looks like the very affluent part of Rio. But now we're going to the beach that's right ahead to see if there's any sunset. We came at the rainy season in December, so the weather hasn't been the best. It's very overcast, but I'm really excited to see if we can at least get a nice little place to sit down for a second, have a caipirinha, and enjoy the end of day uno. But tomorrow, I'm really excited because we're getting up super early to go and see one of the iconic sites here in Brazil, in Rio. I can't wait to bring y'all with us. She's still holding strong, y'all. We went to Post 11 on Leblon Beach where there was no sunset, but there was a kiosk called Pato with caipirinhas, good music, and beach volleyball nearby. Day one didn't come with good weather or high energy, but with only $264.53 spent from our $1,000 budget, including our hotel with 4 days left, we didn't get off to a terrible start. But before we get into what y'all really can't afford to miss in Rio on day two, let me take you back to how I made all of this happen with just a $1,000 budget. In one of the most expensive cities in South America, I was determined to plan an entire week for 2 people with just $1,000. Luckily, I fully believe a tight budget doesn't have to mean a bad trip. To make Rio a reality, I had to find a hotel during one of the most expensive weeks in Brazil, days before New Year's, where hotels cost triple their normal rates. But if there is one thing I love more than traveling, it's finding a way to make it affordable. I always collect my points when I travel, especially with my favorite brands, so when it's high season and hotel prices are insane, I redeem my points and pay as little as possible. That's exactly how I booked the Residence Inn by Marriott for $197 for 6 nights. A steal if you ask me, considering the regular price is about $100 a night. The only thing is, this hotel is located in Barra da Tijuca, about a 35-minute drive from touristy areas like Copacabana and Ipanema, which wasn't ideal, but with this free upgraded 1-bedroom suite, honey, I was not gonna complain. The next day, Rio started showing out and we started bright and early. It is almost 7 a.m. It's 6:45 a.m. and we are headed to the Christ the Redeemer, and look what outside looks like because it is so early. It's so misty, but it looks so exotic being around the mountains of the city, and it's looking like a nice calm before the hustle and bustle that is Rio de Janeiro. We're headed to the new wonder of the world on the top of one of the highest mountains in Rio, so let's go. We were about to witness one of the most breathtaking sights in the world, but first, we had to get there.